Next on the docket, another form of succubus is Alice. The Alice is a mutation of the succubi. With a curiously innocent appearance, Alice are a subrace born from ordinary succubi on very rare occasions. It is exceedingly rare to encounter one. Despite being adult monsters, the succubi's families, Alice gives the false impression of unblemished, wholesome innocence. In fact, it is said that they do not even know that their substance, the essence of men. However, they are succubi who do not actively attack human men, and their temperaments seem to be docile. Their appearance is deceiving. They follow their succubus instincts to appear before human men. As mentioned, they do not attack men in the way of most monster kind. Instead, they cling to them playfully and unwittingly attempt to seduce them. Depending on a faint, seductive magic emitted from their bodies, after an extended period of time spent with Alice, a man is likely to attack her and furnish her with his seed through sexual intercourse. Curiously, after orgasm, the Alice returns to a virginal state and loses all recollection of the act. Despite this, a faint unconscious memory is left in her body, an echo of the pleasure he gave her, the taste of his essence, her strong love and desire for him, as well as all the techniques and erogenous zones she became familiar with during their exchange. Nor does she forget any of the conversations they had. For example, if the man tells the Alice, "I love you," during sex, she will still remember his words and claim afterwards, "You're my lover, dear brother." Therefore, each time the two join, the Alice's memories make her body more and more sensitive to pleasure as it unconsciously reenacts the techniques she learned previously. This allows her to extract an increased quantity of essence from the man. As her feelings for him increase, her innocent wish to give him her first time stays the same, though the manner in which it is enacted grows increasingly wild and vulgar. Through this process, the Alice remains forever an unstained and innocent monster, all while collecting essence and developing into a ever more powerful succubus, which exudes strong, seductive magic and pleases the man in remarkable ways. Like the succubus powers, the Alice turns a man into an incubus over the course of the repeated sexual encounters. Unlike the succubus, however, the Alice does not seize the man or abduct him to the monster realm. Even so, once the man has become a succubus, he is, to all intents and purposes, her slave, as his actions will always be to protect her and give her essence. Incidentally, Alice's exhibit a strange fondness for rabbits. When Alice sees a were-rabbit restlessly hopping around, the Alice will follow her. In most cases, upon becoming aware of the Alice's presence, the were-rabbit will turn about and make sport of her. This behavior has been observed many times without exception. The reason behind it, however, remains a mystery. Shin Megami Tensei games have an Alice in it. Alice is said to be based on Lewis Carroll's character from the famous story Alice in Wonderland, part of Through the Looking Glass. The Shin Megami Tensei Alice shares many physical similarities with the character, most notably the blue dress and blonde hair. Also, her signature move, Die For Me, seems to draw inspiration from the book, as it features spear-wielding card soldiers. Furthermore, her Shin Megami Tensei Image Attack Mad Tea Party takes further inspiration from the book as reference to the chapter in which the protagonist met the Mad Hatter and March Hare. However, some say that she is also based on the myth of the Aryan girl who died at a young age. When Alice died and became a spirit, she gained extreme magical power that drove her insane. Alice was used to scare Scandinavian children into behaving, or else Alice would visit them at night and kill them so that she may become friends with them. Due to the overwhelming support of both theories, it is easy to assume both are valid and that she is a hybrid of both figures. That both are valid seems to be the case though, since the Strange Journey compendium hints at both. Next, we have the Alp, another succubus fiend. The Alp is a variant of the succubus and a highly unusual race that has no likeness to be found among monster kind. Alps originate as incubi, men who undergo a mutation into female monsters. Under no ordinary circumstances does a human man turn into a monster, except that incubi are monsters. As stated before, no male monster currently exists. An incubus is merely a human altered in the nature by monster mana. Because human men reproduce essence indefinitely, regardless of how powerful a monster diffuses a man with mana, he will continue to be human. Alps come about when an incubus wishes deep in his heart to become a woman, or to join with a man, so transsexuals or homosexuals could potentially become Alps. The monster mana that made him an incubus is normally used to improve his production of essence, but in the case it destroys this very function. This strips him of his ability to produce essence and empties him of it. Monster mana pervades his body, and he soon finds that he is a monster. Even after he has become an Alp, his soul, his values and memories and personality remain those of the man he was, only his body has changed. Though it has become completely that of a woman, he continues to perceive himself as a man. He is unaware of the urges to become a woman, which transformed his body, or perhaps he has buried it deep in his heart, pretending not to realize. Thus, he is shocked by the sudden transformation and experiences profound dysphoria. Then, in most cases, he cannot imagine lying with a man as a monster would. The very thought repulses him. Despite this, the instincts of the monster begin to sprout in his mind and body and draw him towards and tempt him with the human man he scorns. His monster instincts swell within him, and his driving hunger for essence becomes unbearable, urging him irresistibly to seek a man. Inevitably, he submits. So bent to distraction by loathing and desire, he attacks and copulates with a man. His first experience of fierce passion as a female-bodied monster, incomparable to any he might have experienced as a human man, undoes the seams of his mind and causes him to move his hips faster. When the man's essence is released into the midst of the monster's wrists, his first taste of the rapture of femininity and the sweet savior of essence leaves his soul in shambles, telling him only that he needs more of this man, and he must have more. Over the course of further days, in which the spirit of a man and the pleasure of a monster clash in his head and torment him, he is once again driven to lie with another man. The cycle repeats until eventually, still wholly perceiving himself as a man, he drops all resistance to the formerly detestable thought of loving another man, sexually and otherwise, and begins to proactively seek intoxication of intercourse and delight of essence. Alps continue to interact normally with their male friends from before, even if they have fallen deeply in love with them after repeated bouts of intercourse. They are likely to seduce and copulate with them very casually, as if inviting a friend of the same sex to participate in a recreational activity. In this process, some Alps discover greater pleasure in becoming a woman. These Alps find that their bodies continue to grow more voluptuous and enticing, and their minds continue to become more feminine. Soon enough, they have matured into full-fledged Alps, more feminine than all other women, and more lascivious than succubi. Inku, for us, doesn't seem to be all about homosexuals or anything like that, or transsexuals. Apparently cannot conceive the thought of someone feeling that they should be a woman or want to be a woman, or that they might want to have sex with another man. However, women on woman is perfectly okay, as mentioned in the very first entry of the book. Succubus happily, gleefully makes other succubus by having sex with them. As for mythology, as for folklore, an Alp is a nightmare creature originating in German folklore. Not to be mistaken with the similarly named Alp Lachira, the Alp is sometimes likened to a vampire, but its behavior is more akin to that of an incubus. It is unique for both of these creatures in that it wears a magic hat called a tankappa, for which it draws its power. The word Alp is a variant of the word elf. It is also known by the following names: Erd, Rud, Mar, Mart, Maru, Mahar, Schlacht, and Volreiter. Many variants of this creature exist in the surrounding European area, such as the Jundun and Charatatl, or Old Hag in English-speaking countries. An Alp is typically male, with the Meru, and Mart while the Meru and Mart appear to be more feminine versions of the same creature. Its victims are often females, whom it attacks during the night, controlling their dreams and creating horrible nightmares. Sexual attacks are rare. They normally feed on blood from the nipples of men or children, but women are preferred due to a liking of breast milk. Shin Megami Tensei also has an elf. An elf is an evil succubus that originates from German folklore.